Wait. Organize. How do we do that? Oh, that's right.
1 year later.
When Democrat chairwoman in Minneapolis has just been carjacked and injured in front of her children. This was her back in 2020. We are going to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. Say it with me. Dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. Democrat Mayor of New York, Eric Adams, has always been in support of open borders in sanctuary cities. Back in 2017, he tweeted, "In this great city of immigrants, we will remain true to our values and always welcome all who yearn to breathe free." 2021, he tweeted, "Yes, New York City will remain a sanctuary city under an Adams administration." But today in 2023, after getting the sanctuary city he wanted, he's sounding very different.
I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. One time we were just getting Venezuela. Now we get Ecuador. Now we get Russian speaking coming through Mexico. Now we get Western Africa. Now we getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City. Everyone is saying it's New York City's problem. Every community in this city is going to be impacted.
Mayor Eric Adams wanted sanctuary cities until he reaped the consequences of sanctuary cities. This story is really sad. These are the realities of the policies they've been pushing.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Have I mentioned to you guys that the best way to red pill a Democrat is to give them what they want? Right? Have I mentioned that to you guys? Okay, if you want to red pill a Democrat / liberal / leftist, just give them what they want. Okay, how many times have we seen this? If you allow leftists to destroy themselves, eventually they will realize the consequences of the policies that they advocate for, right? Just ask all the black people in Chicago who are currently boohoo, whining, and crying about the illegals that have invaded their neighborhoods, right? Ask Eric Adams about that as well, too, as well as the mayor of Washington, D.C., and all these other liberal cities that are being destroyed by illegal immigrants that they supported coming into their city and into the country, right? Now we have more Democrats boohoo, whining, and crying about crime after supporting the defund the police movement. Okay, we have seen stories like this before of Democrats who came out after the George Floyd incident and supported basically dismantling our law enforcement system because the white man is racist and you have white police officers out here trying to kill black people for no reason, right? This is what the conspiracy theory that was pushed by the left that resulted in real world violence that cost people's lives. And none of these people ever got censored on social media, right, for pushing this conspiracy. But yeah, that's what happened, okay? And Democrats were a part of that, okay? You had Democrats like this Democrat right here, Miss Savanthi Sadhanadan, okay? Now, I know I probably butchered her name, but Miss Savanthi is a leader or a vice chair of the Minnesota DFL Party, okay? So, again, she's a Democrat, okay? And she learned the hard way the consequences of the policies that she supports because she expressed support for dismantling the Minneapolis Police Department in June 2020. And unfortunately, again, there are consequences when you decide to try to dismantle a police department. One of the main consequences is more crime, right? And it took her experiencing a tragic event that she didn't deserve, right? A tragic event in order for her to realize the importance of police in our society. And I want to talk about it. But before I get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Noble Gold. Do you want to take control of your financial future, but you don't know where to start? Well, trust me, Noble Gold understands. Investing in precious metals may sound confusing, but the team at Noble Gold Investments makes it easy. Let's hear from actual Noble Gold investment customers. Quote, "The staff answer all my questions and help me every step of the way." Quote, "No pressure, sales tactics, just honest guidance." Quote, "Securing my future is less stressful thanks to Noble Gold's expertise. Don't settle for financial uncertainty. They'll suggest options to see if you can diversify into gold and silver." And right now, Noble Gold Investments is offering a free 5-ounce silver America the Beautiful bullion coin for qualifying accounts and rollovers. Don't settle for financial uncertainty. Noble Gold Investments has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and countless of 5-star reviews. So why wait? Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. The only gold company I trust. And just remember, there's a risk with every investment and there's no guarantee of any kind.
3 years since those riots and looting in 2020, the near constant protests calling to defund the police. You remember all that. Minnesota Democrats even tried to abolish the entire police department in Minneapolis. With support from lawmakers like Ilhan Omar and the state's AG, Keith Ellison, today rampant crime remains a constant threat in that city. Minneapolis reports hundreds of carjackings and nearly 6,000 robberies in a car so far this year.
The latest victim with a new point of view after she was attacked and beaten in front of her own children. Now she's calling for more law and order, writing, "Look at my face. Remember me when you are thinking about supporting letting juveniles and young people out of custody to roam our streets instead of holding them accountable for their actions." Senior correspondent Mike Tobin has more in our Midwest Bureau. Hi, Mike.
And Dana, Democratic Farm Labor's second vice chairwoman, Shivanti Sethanandan, says she is now part of the statistics and filled with rage after falling victim to a violent carjacking by armed young men. She posted this shocking picture to Facebook that shows her bleeding from the head, claims that she has cuts, bruises, and a broken leg. Sethanandan says she was attacked right in the driveway to her house by 4 men with guns. It happened in front of her children. She said her attackers knew what they were doing, had clearly done this before, so she called for gun control and stiffer penalties. Part of her post reads, "Catch these young people who are running wild, creating chaos across our city, and hold them in custody and prosecute them, period." Now, this is a dramatic change of perspective from the liberal activist who 3 years ago was part of that movement to defund and dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department in the wake of the murder of George Floyd. Here's a post from June 5, 2020. "We're going to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. Say it with me. Dismantle the police department. MPD has systematically failed the black community." Now, her car was recovered by police, abandoned just a short time after the incident. Publicly, Sethanandan praised the MPD officers from the 4th Precinct, as well as Mayor Jacob Fry. Now, carjackings are up in Minneapolis and nearby St. Paul, where Ramsey County Sheriff's deputies have taken an aggressive, proactive approach. Carjackings are down. Dana?
Mike Tobin, thank you.
Yeah, so it's always fascinating to see Democrats actually learn the consequences of their rhetoric and the things that they wish for, okay? Because in the name of protecting black people from evil white racist police officers, she called to dismantle the police, okay? She wanted to dismantle. She wanted to get rid of police. Just for a few years later to be boohoo, whining, and crying and begging for police, begging to be tougher on crime, after getting robbed at gunpoint by 4 young scholars. Isn't that amazing how that works, right? It's very amazing how that works. It's almost as if, again, being woke is the opposite of common sense, okay? You're not grounded in reality if you happen to be woke. And I think that this woman got a reality check. And let's just say I don't think she's woke anymore, right? But let's read this, okay? Let's read what this lady had to say, because again, this is fascinating stuff. One of the vice chairs of the Minnesota DFL Party says she was violently carjacked in front of her children in the driveway of her Minneapolis home Tuesday. Quote, "4 very young men, young scholars, okay, all carrying guns, beat me violently down to the ground in front of our kids. The young men held our neighbors up at gunpoint when they ran over and tried to help me, all in broad daylight." DFL second vice chair Shivanti Sethanandan wrote in a Facebook post, which included a picture of her face after the alleged assault. Quote, "Look at my face in the picture. This is the face of a mother who just had the ish beat out of her. A mother whose only thought was, quote, let me run far enough and fight hard enough so that my kids have a chance to get away. This is the face of a mother who just listened to her 4-year-old daughter screaming nonstop, her 7-year-old son wailing for someone to come help because bad guys are murdering his mama in the backyard. her neighbors screaming in outrage, all while being beaten with guns and kicks and fists, she said. Wow. Wow. Again, why does it take something like this to happen for a mother to get violently beaten in front of her children, for her to realize that advocating to dismantle the police and to be soft on crime is a bad idea, right? It's a bad idea when you have lunatics like this, right? Lunatics that will rob you at gunpoint and beat you violently in front of your children. Again, I guarantee you she's probably tough on guns as well too, right? She's probably very pro-gun control. Probably doesn't believe in having a gun to defend herself in these type of situations, okay? She doesn't believe in other people's right to self-defense. I got a feeling she's going to turn into a tough on crime, gun-toting Democrat after this, right? This is what I think. Sat Hanadan said she suffered a broken leg, deep lacerations to her head, and several bruises and cuts. Quote, "And I have rage. These men knew what they were doing. I have no doubt they have done this before, yet they are still on our streets, killing mothers, giving babies psychological trauma that a lifetime of therapy cannot erase, with no hesitation and no remorse," she said. Wow. Yeah, I mean, they're probably repeat offenders, okay? They've probably been arrested before for doing the exact same thing and then let out on the street because of soft on crime policies that this woman probably supports, that she probably voted for. Again, it's amazing. Why does this have to happen for people to understand that this is what happens when you're soft on crime? Again, wokeness is the opposite of common sense. This is why this type of stuff happens. All this stuff is preventable for the most part. Sat Hanadan, who expressed support for dismantling the Minneapolis Police Department in June 2020, then called for tougher penalties for juvenile offenders. Quote, "We need to get illegal guns off of our streets, catch these young people who are running wild, creating chaos across our city, and hold them in custody and prosecute them," she said. "Look at my face. Remember me when you are thinking about supporting letting juveniles and young people out of custody to roam our streets instead of holding them accountable for their actions." In her June 2020 post, Sat Hanadan thanked two Minneapolis City Council members for their radical leadership in working to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. Again, you kind of got what, you voted for, right? What you supported, okay, which is less protection. Again, stuff like this happens when you have less police around. Quote, "We're going to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department." Say it with me. She wrote, "A police report says the incident took place in St. Anthony's North Minneapolis neighborhood at 7:43 p.m. Tuesday, police recovered her Ford Explorer after it was abandoned by the suspects, according to the report. No suspect descriptions have been provided. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure she knows what these young scholars look like, right? We all know what they most likely look like, right? But she probably doesn't want to be accused of being a racist by describing them. But hey, at the very least, she's calling to be tough on crime. I just wish that people didn't have to go through this. If you use common sense, you don't have to go through this, right? If you vote with your common sense, you don't have to go through this. But again, we know that wokeness and modern day progressivism is antithetical to common sense. And this is why this happens, right? This is why it happens. So, hey, I wish her the best of luck, even though this is, again, something that, I feel that she probably voted for, okay, that she probably supported. She doesn't deserve it, obviously, and I hope that she makes a speedy recovery, and I'm glad that she is alive and well. Just, again, next time you go and vote, okay, or you go out here and you want to, support something, make sure you support being tough on crime and you support police. It is very likely that stuff like this probably wouldn't happen as much. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.